All right. Hi, everybody. I don't know why I said hi so weird. My name is Mercury Addison. Today I'm going to be making some jewelry. I know it's been a couple of weeks since the last time I did one of these videos. In my defense, it's none of your business. I just had personal things going on. That's right. I'm blaming it on life is busy and you don't need to know how. But I'm back again, and I'm going to start trying to do this more regularly from now on. As you might have noticed, the keyblade that I had hanging up behind me is no longer there. We had a thunderstorm, and apparently the sticky things that I had used to hook my keyblade to the wall are not as durable as they said they were going to be. So it's still here. I should lean the other way. It's just kind of behind the chair now. It's propped up against the bookshelf. Not that any one of you actually cares about where my keyblade went, but I care. Anyway, so today I'm going to be making some jewelry. Right now I'm wearing the bracelet that I made last time I did a video. This pan flag bracelet that I made because I am pan romantic. And because I finally got hot pink beads. So it was actually able to work. Today I'm going to be making another bracelet. I'm probably not going to spend too much time on it right now because honestly my phone battery is dying and that's also my camera. So I'm just going to try to jump into it and get things started and just, I don't know, make a quick bracelet. So let me adjust my camera here and put it onto the board. Let me go to my other thing and try to zoom in on this a little bit maybe, so that I can try to just make sure that you guys get a good look at my bead board. There we go. I think it looks pretty nice. Let me just move a little bit more, maybe. Sorry. Alright, so let's start building a bracelet. Let me just move some of my stuff out of my way here, now that I no longer need it, like my mouse and whatnot. Okay, today I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do a bit of a character bracelet. A lot of the people in my Discord will probably like the character that I do, but for the record, I actually hate the show that I'm going to be making a character bracelet for. It's just that I'm also hyperfixated on it. If there's anything that any of you understand, I'm sure that it's going to be hyperfixating on a television show that you cannot stand. You think it went bad, you think it went stupid, you think that the direction it took, the writing, everything like that, you think, oh my god, how could they have messed up a concept this good? I got it out of my red box. You cannot mess up a concept so good. How did you do that? How did you mess it up? That's where I am. Hyperfixating on a show I think is trash. Right now I'm just going to be building up some of these. Building up, not really building the bracelet so much as just getting beads that I like to see about putting them into it. I don't really know about these. I'm going to try these ones. I don't really think I want sparkly beads for this. Here we go. Let's see what I have in the non-sparkly category of black beads that I can put with this stuff. Oh, these are both connected to each other. That's fine. I don't like that those beads are connected to each other, but it's okay. By that I mean that these beads here, I got these in a set. They were supposed to be two separate beads. The other beads in this set were all separate. But there's two instances of the beads just being stuck together. So that means that I will have to use them as together. And I don't like it. It's not ideal. I don't know why these two sets of these beads were just wholly stuck together, but if I'm gonna use them, I might as well use them on a character bracelet for a show that I hate. So there we go. So going back to this, let's just get some regular nice black beads in here. Some nice good plain black beads that don't have any decoration, don't have any sparkle. And these are just going to help to build out the bracelet. Because if every single bead on a bracelet is spectacular, then the entire bracelet's going to look crowded and overcomplicated. You gotta have some, you just gotta have some plain beads alongside it to offset everything else. Besides, this character wears a lot of black, but not a lot of sparkly stuff. Sorry, I dropped a couple of them. I decided to pick those up. So I got some black beads and there's some red beads. I'm going to get into my seed bead box because I also want to get a handful of really bright red small ones that I can just throw onto the bracelet where I need it, just for a splash of extra color. Because these red beads that I have here, they're red, but they're so dark that you can't really tell they're red, like at least on camera, and I want to make sure that they stand out amidst the other reds to just give it a pop. And now, finally, well, not finally, but I'm going to get some silver beads out here. None of those. Just some silver spacers and things so that I can just have some nice silver stuff in here. Because this is a character that has to do with silver. I don't know about those ones, actually. Let me try these instead. Right now I'll just put all of them here so that I can just build the bracelet as I see fit. And I might not use everything that I'm pulling, but that's okay. I just like to have options when I'm building things. I like to be able to just pull the things that I want and have them accessible. Probably none of these. I have some beads that would be perfect in this design, but I like them and I only have so few. I have a few of them, so I'm just going to save them for a different design that I like better. Don't want any of those. I'm just going to pull some more silver stuff just in case. Although, you know what? I actually think I might want to save those silver stuff for better projects. Okay. Let's see here. I think that's good. But then finally, I have some delicate little silver beads that are shaped and carved to look like roses. So I'm just going to put some of those here. As you can kind of see, they're very small, but they're silver beads that are carved to look like roses. So that's going to be nice. I almost feel like I'm going to definitely need more red to offset the black and the silver. The thing is, I don't want to make it too... I don't want to make it too red because it's supposed to just have pops of red next to the black. But maybe I'll just get a couple of these beads out and see how that works with the design as I'm building it all out. These beads are pretty cool. They are red beads with black splotches. They're just kind of cool. So let me just put all these over here actually. Red ones here. Black and silver. Let me see about starting to build this bracelet. So I'm going to put red crystal bead here. 2 of these red seed beads on either side. The thing about seed beads is that they're all kind of supposed to be uniform, but they rarely ever are, so you just have to be careful about picking them up because they don't always look the way they're supposed to. So yeah, I got those. Let's do a black bead on each side. And let's do not those. Let's do these black ones here. And then more of these red seed beads. Let's do some of the red crystal ones, red seeds. And then let's do silver roses. Red seeds. Red crystals. Red seeds. Let's do some of this black here. Red seeds, silver roses, red seeds, black, red seeds, and silver roses, and then I need more red seeds. And you know what, I think that looks okay. It's not the prettiest thing I've ever put together, but it looks fine enough, and it looks about right for the character that I want it to be for, but at the same time it also looks not very, it's not taking up a whole lot of resources that I would otherwise want for better projects. Alright, so let's get some cord for the bracelet. I'm almost out of beading wire, and I can't really afford to get more, so that's gonna suck. Yep, that's good. I need to get out toggle clasp. I'm almost out of silver toggle clasps, but that's okay. I think I'll use these black ones instead because they just actually do really fit the character. So I'll use black toggle clasps instead of silver. Which means I also, instead of silver crimp covers, I'm going to use these gunmetal black, which again, really fitting for the character. I don't think I have any gunmetal black wire covers. These are, I think actually, nope, these are more copperish. These look right to me. I think those look fine actually. I think I had 2 gunmetal black wire guards. So that works. And then I'll just grab a couple silver crimps, because they're going to be hidden anyway. Couple silver crimps. Okay. So now I've got all my supplies. Now I'm going to start building the bracelet. So start with a crimp bead, and then a wire guard. It doesn't want to thread today. My fingers do not want to do all this delicate little work. Okay. And I'm going to put the... Where's the... Oh, here it is. Over here. I'm going to put the bar on. Thread it through the crimp bead. Make the thing a bit shorter. Alright, I take my crimp tool. And I just crimp it shut. Nice and secure. Give it a tug to make sure that it's firm. Put one of these crimp covers over the crimp bead. Get it shut. I'm just kind of playing around with it to make sure that it's all nice and uniform, because it's not quite. The more I do these crimp covers, the better I get at it, but I'm still not that great at it yet. It's supposed to end up looking like a nice, just round bead. Alright, now I'm going to start stringing this bracelet. Nice. Okay. You know, honestly, some of these red beads are just really not uniform, and it's gonna bug the whole life out of me. I have to trade some of these red seed beads for better shaped ones. That's the thing about the seed beads, is that they're not always made in the right sizes. So I just have to make sure that I go through and get the right sizes. This is one step of perfectionism that I can't ignore. Even if it would be better for me if I did. Obviously, they're still not all going to be the exact same size, but now they at least are sort of similar sized. Okay, that's better. Okay, back to stringing. Just gonna... I'm realizing I don't have anything to say while I'm doing this part. It's just kind of boring. So I'll just say that the character for the show that I hate, that I'm doing this for, was one of my favorite characters for a very long time. I loved her so much. But the writers just didn't respect her. You know how it is when, like, there are a couple of guys that are like, let's write strong, powerful women. And maybe sometimes they get it a little bit right. But then other times, it's like, you forgot to not be misogynists, didn't you? I think that you kind of just forgot to not be misogynists. And it's like, whoops. Now they've ruined their own character. It's kind of how it was with this entire series. And it's really sad because I did just love it so much. Regardless of what a lot of people might have said. A lot of people in that particular fandom were of the opinion that if you ever said anything bad about the show, it meant that you had never liked it, and that you just decided to start watching it so that you could hate it. And it's like, why would I have devoted 10 years of my life to a TV series that I just hated? For no other reason than so at the end of it I could say, well, that was pretty sexist. Doesn't make sense. But women are never allowed to criticize the men who write television. So I know this video is just turning into a rant, but you know what? Sometimes I should be allowed to rant about things. Especially if the things I'm ranting about are misogyny in corporately produced media, you know? But at the end of the day, I am still hyperfixated. I still love the characters as the way they were, and I love the way that they are in my head, because I turned them into something really cool in my head. So this is a love-hate bracelet. This is a bracelet that I'm making because I cannot get over how much I love the things that I hate, and so I'm punishing myself through art. Plus I found these silver rose beads and I could not pass them up. I needed them specifically so that I could make a bracelet about this character. Because I loved her so much. And I still do in my heart of hearts. So I'm just stringing up the beads now, the final beads. I have this bad habit of not being able to tell how much is too tight versus how much is too loose when I'm trying to finish a bracelet here. Because you want to make sure that there's a little bit of wiggle room, there's a little bit of give, You don't want your bracelet to be so tight that people can't really hold it on their wrists very well. You don't want it to be stiff. You want it to just feel nice and loose and airy. But that's good. If you leave too much string, then it looks really bad. There's too much of it. People have now, their bracelet is got too much wiring on it, and people don't like that. Speaking of too much wiring, I'm trying to tuck this in and it's not wanting to go in. There we go. It has been tucked. Okay, so now the last piece is to put this gunmetal black crimp cover on. Okay, and now we'll just crimp that closed. And shape it up a little bit better. And there we have it. So I'm going to take off the Pan Romantic bracelet. And I'm going to put on this red and black and silver rose. Actually, first I just noticed that the wire that I thought I had tucked in was untucked on the other side. So now I have to try to fix that. It doesn't want to cooperate. There. Alright, so now I will put on this bracelet. Come on. My fingers don't want to cooperate with me. There we go. And I think that looks pretty nice. So here we have this bracelet. It's nice and red and black, and you can see the metal roses, silver roses. I think that the toggle clasp that I had here was also good, because I don't know if you can tell, but it's got like these leaves on it. That's also just in line with this character. So, there we go. It's a little big for me. I can just pull it right off without even opening the toggle, but I think it turned out pretty good. So that's all I'm going to do today. Let me just come over here and zoom back out and turn it back to me. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to do today. Like I said, my battery on my phone is kind of dying a little bit, and I've got a lot of stuff to do. I'm trying to catch up and get back to work on doing everything that I'm trying to do, and just launch my projects, do my art, write my books, all that sort of thing. But thank you for watching. Sorry that I skipped out on a couple of weeks, but I'm going to try to do this more every Monday. Sorry, my old stammer comes back sometimes. I'm going to try to do this every Monday from now on. If you'd like to join me on the live streams instead of just watching them later, you can check out my Ko-Fi channel and subscribe to be a Ko-Fi follower, which will give you access to live streams, and as well as it'll give you sneak peeks about some of the projects that I'm working on. And it'll give you a cool desktop set for a wallpaper set for your desktop and your mobile that I made. So check it out if you're interested. If not, just like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff that people always tell you to do.